What's going on, guys? It's me, GeminiJets 2016 here, and today we have another model plane unboxing video for you guys. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. Let's get started on this cardboard box. So, here's the cardboard box right here. I got this model from Panda Fox Toys, and it's one of GeminiJets' recent releases. Well, one of them is a recent release model, while the other one is like a previous release model. So, I ended up getting these models right here because I think they're gonna be important for me if I would create a model airport soon. But these two models are gonna be important for me for many generations to come, or many model airport updates to come. So I decided to get these models because I think they're gonna be helpful for my collection, and they're gonna be nice as well. So yeah. So I got this box right here, and this was my last purchase before I started saving up for airliners. So it will be around June is when I will upload this video. So it's kind of like a few weeks away until airliners. So I do have this box right here. I just wanted to get this box because there's some cool models right here. So let's get started by cutting it open. Alright, so that's that. Okay, so there we go. Now let me try going from the top right here. Quite surprised that actually took quicker than before. Alright, so let's open up the flaps right here. And inside these packing paper, we can see something heavy. So let's get started by taking out these models. And how can I take them out? Alright, so I think they're all placed in just one packing paper, I think. Alright, yep, there we go. So everything is out, and as I unwrap the packing paper right here, let's see what our first model is. And I see something, and here we go with our first model. Actually, we have two models right here, so let's get started with our first one. This is the GeminiJets 1/400 scale JetBlue Airbus A220-300. Super excited to finally have a JetBlue A220-300 in my collection. This has been a model that has been wanting from the collectors for many years. And finally, it's here, so I'm very glad to have it. And not to mention, I also have another A220 in my collection as well, and that's gonna be the Air Canada Airbus A220-300. I almost said A321, but this is an A220-300. I'm really excited to also have this in my collection, and this is my first Air Canada mainline, so I'm really excited to have that in my collection as well. And I do have the receipt from Panda Fox, which contains the coupon code. So as you can see here it is. This expires on July 22nd of 2023, and the code is Bravo November Papa to Echo Papa. So get that code in, and whoever got it, that model's for you. Well, that discount code's for you. But yeah, very nice right there. And as so I'm gonna take out all these packing paper. Yeah. So that's everything for this box. So we're just gonna I'm just gonna put this at the side, and let's get started with these models. Man, I'm super excited to have them in my collection. And here are my two A220-300s by GeminiJets in 1/400 scale. Super excited to have these in my collection. They're gonna be some kind of a staple for some of my airport updates that I'm gonna be doing soon. But I'm very excited to add these models in my collection. So we have the Air Canada A220-300 and the JetBlue A220-300. The Air Canada A220-300 came out in GeminiJets' December releases for 2022, and the JetBlue Airbus A220-300 is a recent release set, as this came out in the May 2023 releases. But other than that, I'm just super excited to have these models in my collection, and I think what I do want to start with first is the Air Canada A220, since that's an older release. So let's get started with the Air Canada A220. Alright, so let's begin this unboxing with the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Air Canada Airbus A220-300. Really excited to have this model in my collection. Super excited to also have another Canadian aircraft into my collection as well. And this is kind of my first Air Canada mainline aircraft in my collection as well. And yeah, as I mentioned on the previous clips. But yeah, really excited to have these. And yeah, I'm eager to see on how the Air Canada A220-300 is gonna look like. I think this is the second rendition of this model, as they did one previously in the Herpa mold, which is quite interesting, but of course, the current GeminiJets A220 mold has some flaws. But I'm just here to get this model in my collection. Not to complain about GeminiJets, but I'm just glad to have this. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the CGI image of the aircraft, Airbus A220-300 tiles right there. You got the Air Canada logo as well. 1/400 scale die-cast small aircraft. And yeah, this is just your standard GeminiJets box. Nothing too special about it, but yeah. And here are the sides right here. Kind of like scanning through those. And here's the back side of the box right here. You got the aircraft taken off right there, and you got some Cirrus clouds, as well as it gets features right there, highly debatable. You got the social media pages right there, and the Air Canada copyright label right there. And then you got the 2023 GeminiJets copyright label right there, which is quite surprising since this is like a model release from 2022, so really interesting they added a 2023 copyright label right there from GeminiJets. And the item number of this model is GJ-ACA 2161. So yeah, once again, really excited to have this model in my collection. And yeah, can't wait to unbox it. Alright, so let's get unboxing into this. But before that, of course, as per usual with every GeminiJets model, I always open up the pamphlet so you can see the model inside. So let's open it up. And there she is right there, looking very nice. And here's the description of the A220 itself, so you can pause and read. And yeah, so you got all these descriptions of the A220 and this aircraft itself. So yeah, let's get started with this unboxing. Now, if I could try to this is kind of like an open, yeah, there's an opening right there. So we're gonna like take it out from this side. Kind of made a little bit of a dent right there. And yeah, so I'm hoping this model is intact. The past GeminiJets models I have didn't came broken, which is very nice, so I'm really happy and fortunate for that one. And glad that GJ is improving with the quality control. But let's just see if she's intact. Okay, so the horizontal stabilizers are good. And yeah, very nice. So here it is right there in all of her glory. And yeah, the horizontal stabilizers are made out of plastic, so that's why I would sometimes it kind of feels like a bit flimsy, but hey, I mean it is what it is. But other than that, I'm just really glad that this model came intact. And as I set down my camera, there she is. So yeah, a very nice model to add to my collection. And yeah, a nice model for my Canadian fleet. And here's the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Air Canada Airbus A220-300. A very nice model right here. And yeah, GeminiJets did a nice job on the model in 1/400 scale. And overall, I think the model looks very nice. But of course, there's kind of like a little bit of flaws with the A220 mold, which I'm going to be discussing right now. So let's start with the port side right here. You got the cockpit windows right there, which are decently printed. And then you got the infamous nose shape of the A220. Yeah, kind of a bit pointy. And then you got the infamous nose landing gear right there. And yes, as I seen on the A220s, it's taller than like the previous one when they had the Herpa mold. But yeah, for better retrospective, excuse me, there it is. So yeah, the nose is kind of don't have any words, but all I can say is just a bit too pointy, and hopefully GeminiJets can improve on that soon if they can. So yeah, that's kind of like the story about the A220 mold from GeminiJets. And yeah, here's the L1 boarding door right there. Then you got the Air Canada tiles right there. You got the Canadian leaf, or the Air Canada logo in this case. And here's the top antenna right there. Moving on to the middle, you got the emergency exit door right there. You got the winglet right there and the main landing gear. And here's the engine. I think these are like, I don't know. Are these like the PW1000G engines, I think? I might have to look at that box again. Hang on, guys. Let me look at that box. So I do apologize. Yeah, these are like the Pratt & Whitney 1500G engines. So those are the engines that power the A220. Now let me set her aside again. Yeah, so of course here's the PW 1500G engine right there. Let's look at some wing detail. As I zoom out of my camera and try to focus. So here's the wing detail right there. You got the cold soak fuel frost, the emergency exit slide indicator. You got some slat detail and flap detail, along with some fairing detail as well. Looking very nice. And here's the engine pylon right there. And honestly, looking at the engines, it's kind of like detailed. So that's pretty interesting right there. Really nice to see that from a GeminiJets model, excuse me. And yeah, very nice right there. And then moving on to close to the back. you got the 2 back antennas right there, you got the Wi-Fi dome, and not to mention, there's also the Canadian, like the Air Canada logo on the winglet right there. And here's the Airbus A220-300 tiles right there. You got the Canadian flag right there, and then you got the aircraft registration, which is Charlie Golf Juliet X-Ray Echo. You got the L2 door right there. And moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, you got the APU and the horizontal stabilizers. Of course, they are made out of plastic. And the Air Canada tail with the ship number on top. So, yeah, very nice model indeed. And, yeah, a nice model from GeminiJets, minus their, like, A220 mold, their inferior A220 mold in that case. Oh, I forgot to mention that there's the Star Alliance logo right there. Anyways, we are on the starboard side, and then you got the R doors right there. And then you got your forward cargo bin right there. And moving on to the aft cargo bin, there it is. So here it is right there. Very well printed, to say the least. And now let's have a look at the top view of the aircraft. So here's the top view of the aircraft right there with all those details right there, looking pretty nice. Moving on to the underbelly of the aircraft, you got the sand hole right there. It's kind of like hard to see because the underbelly is black. But then you also got the Canadian, well, the Air Canada logo right there. I would sometimes keep saying it's a Canadian leaf, but that's the Air Canada logo right there. And then you got your small GeminiJets logo right there. Moving on to the front side, if I could try to like maneuver it properly. Moving on to the front. There's the front right there. Okay, wing flex. Not too much of wing flex right there, but it looks very nice. And then moving on to the back side. Here it is. So this is the back side right there. So yeah, really nice to have an Air Canada A220-300 in my collection already. And yeah, really excited to have these and probably use these in my future airport updates. And speaking of the Air Canada A220, I'm really excited to see the Air Canada A220-300 in Sacramento soon because starting like in the beginning of June, they're going to be operating from Sacramento to Toronto using this aircraft, which is very exciting for Sacramento International Airport as they're going to be getting their first Air Canada mainline. So what a way to represent this model for this occasion. I'm hoping I could go spotting on that day, but other than that, I'm just excited for that route for Sacramento International. So yeah, Air Canada A220 is going to be nice for my collection. So that is it for that model. Now let's move on to the JetBlue one. And here we go with the next A220 from the Panda Fox batch. And that is the GeminiJets 1/400 scale JetBlue Airbus A220-300. Man, I am super excited to have this model in my collection. I've been wanting a JetBlue A220 in my collection for a long time. And man, I'm just super excited to finally have it in my collection. Really glad that GeminiJets has made it in 1/400 scale from the May releases. And man, I'm very excited. So let's get started with the box. So you got the GeminiJets logo, made for collectors by collectors. Of course, this is just your generic GeminiJets box. You got the CGI image of the aircraft right there. Airbus A220-300 tiles right there, and that JetBlue logo, and 1/400 scale die-cast small aircraft. Moving on to the sides, pretty much the same, nothing too special or nothing really much to talk about. And moving on to the backside, you got the aircraft right there, along with some Cirrus clouds right there, as well as it gets features right there. Once again, highly debatable. There's no JetBlue copyright label somewhere on this side, and then there's their social media pages right there. And then there's the 2023 GeminiJets copyright label right there. And the item number of this model is GJJBU2182. So yeah, very excited to have this model in my collection. Once again, it's another JetBlue, and probably gonna be my favorite model so far for my JetBlue collection. And yeah, once again, I'm very excited to have a JetBlue A220 in my collection. And here we go with the unboxing, everybody. Here we go. I'm just excited to see this. Man, let's open up that pamphlet, and here we go. Oh boy. Let's see her in full force. Come on out. Wow. Look at that beauty right there. Very nice. Wow. Just excited to unbox it. And of course, you got the A220 information right there. Of course, once again, you can pause and read, but of course, it's kind of like the same information, and yeah, it's a different aircraft. But other than that, I'm just excited to have this. I'm just excited to unbox this. Come on out. Whew. Wow. Very excited. But yeah. And yeah, this came out of the Maviation releases. And yeah, the Maviation releases from GeminiJets is a very nice release set. And I don't know about this, but there's some kind of like indentation on this portion of this box. I don't know why. Maybe it's coming from the shipping, but either way, most of the box is intact. But what I'm hoping for is the model if it comes intact. So of course we're going to be unboxing it, and yeah, we're going to check some quality controls on this model, and yeah, of course. Oop, did not mean to hit my light right there. But other than that, whoo, wow, oh, yes. Hopefully the wings are intact. Come on, wings, good. Horizontal stabilizers as well. Yes, sir. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Take a look at that beauty right there. Wow, this is absolutely beautiful. Oh yeah, I love the printing on this model right there. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Very nice right there. And yeah, so there she is, everybody, the JetBlue A220 300. Wow, that is an amazing model right there. Super fortunate to have it. And here she is, the GeminiJets 1/400 scale JetBlue Airways Airbus A220 300 with the Hop's tail. Wow, this is a beautiful model from GeminiJets, and wow, very nice model to say the least. Once again, I am super fortunate to finally have this in my collection. So of course we're going to start with the review, and we're going to start with the port side with the cockpit windows right there. And of course you got the inferior nose shape of the A220 mold. You got some pitot tube detail right there along with the nose gear, of course being a bit too tall. And then you got the nose landing gear door right there. You got the L1 boarding door right there with the big JetBlue billboard tiles right there. There's your top antenna, of course. And then you got the Free Fly Fi logo right there and some sag port details right there. Moving on to the middle section, well, before that, I do want to look at the name. The aircraft name is Dawning of a Blue Era. Alright, so moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got the emergency exit door right there. There's the Pratt & Whitney PW1500G engine right there. There's the main landing gear, yeah. And then there's your back antennas right there. I know I'm not in the back side of the aircraft, but I do want to mention that. So here is the back antennas right there along with the Wi-Fi dome. And then there's one side of the winglet painted in like the Hops colors. So, okay, pointed, there it is. So there's the Hops colors on the starboard winglet, and then on the outer winglet, it's just a like navy blue. And then you got the JetBlue.com tiles right there, and some nice exhaust detail as well. Moving on to some wing detail, as I zoom out. There we go, so here's the wing detail. Of course, you got the emergency exit doors right there, well, the slide indicators, and then you got your fairing details, speed brake, spoiler details, slat details, trailing edge details with the flaps. And then you got the cold soak fuel frost right there printed very nicely, and the engine pylon as well. And of course you got these amazing details on the engines as well, which is very nice. And here's a closer look at the Hop's tail if I could try to focus. I know it's kind of like blurry, but of course it's a... Oh man, this is it's gonna take a while, but yeah. So this is the inner section of the winglet right there, so you can see all the blue colors representing the Hops logo, well the Hops tail in that case. Yeah, so that's the wing detail right there. Moving on to the back side of the aircraft. There we go. So you got the L2 door right there, and the US flag right there, and the aircraft registration, which is November 3044 Juliet, and the Airbus A220 300 tiles right there. And then moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, there's the horizontal, well, APU, and the horizontal stabilizers, and the beautiful JetBlue Hops tail, if we can try to focus. There it is. Wow. Look at that printing right there. Wow, very nice. GeminiJets did a wonderful job on the printing of the Hop's tail, and wow, it looks super nice in 1/400 scale on this beautiful model right here. Wow, super fortunate. Yeah. And then moving on to the starboard side of the aircraft, you got all your R doors right there. There's your forward cargo bin right there. And moving on to the back side, there's the aft cargo bin right there. And now for a top view of this aircraft. So here's the top view right there, looking pretty nice. Of course, there's some nice detailing of the top view right there. Of course, you got your beacon light right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, or the underbelly, here it is. So you got your sand hole right there, of course, and there's amazing hole details for the main landing gear. And then you got your GeminiJets logo, a bit small, of course, that's what it is. The GeminiJets logo has gotten smaller on recent releases. Moving on to the front section, there it is. And moving on, well, I kind of noticed that the main landing gear is not as bad as compared to like the previous versions of the models I have. It's, of course, it's still kind of like thick and, well, Yeah, well, of course, like the A220 300 nose landing gear is still tall, but at least it's not as clunky. I mean, like, looking at it, it's still kind of clunky, but not as messy as compared to some of my A220s I have. And then moving on to the backside, there it is, looking very nice. So, what a model from GeminiJets. Wow, I'm super fortunate to finally have this model in my collection. Wow, JetBlue A220 300. Wow, that's just a beauty right there. And yeah, really fortunate to have this model once again. So, that is it for this unboxing. So let's line up my two A220s and conclude this video. So, let's do that. And here they are, my two Airbus A220s from GeminiJets that I unboxed in today's video. Man, these models are absolutely amazing. The Air Canada A220 and the JetBlue A220, they're just amazing models, let's just say that. Wow, really fortunate to have these models in my collection, and I think they're going to be very useful for upcoming airport updates I do, or model airports that I'm going to be doing in the upcoming future. The JetBlue A220 is probably like my most highly anticipated model for my collection. And yeah, really fortunate to have this in my collection. The Air Canada A220 is also nice, and of course, it's going to be a new airline. Well, technically not a new airline, but I'm now having my first Air Canada mainline. So that's kind of like new to my Canadian fleet. So yeah, it should appear nice, and yeah, should be nice for my model airport updates. So yeah, that is pretty much it for today's video. Overall, this is a very nice unboxing, and yeah, really fortunate to have two Airbus A220s from GeminiJets. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. And don't forget to check out my other massive unboxings and other model plane unboxings I do on my channel. You can click on the playlist on each one, and yeah, you can check them out and see all these videos from there. So, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.